Hello, you're listening to The Jordan Show. Today's topic is going to be about what it's like to be a young parent raising kids in today's society. I have Mrs. Ann on the line. She's going to share some of her point of views with you to let you know what it's like for her to be a young parent. Mrs. Ann, you on the line. Would you please share some of your point of views?
Definitely, Miss Jordan. I must say before I start, it is absolutely a pleasure to be on your talk show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you here.
I've witnessed some of your previous interviews, and I must say, you ask all the right questions, and some of them are quite hilarious.
Oh, thank you. Well, I must say, I'm glad that young people can view my videos and get input. I try to do videos where I can send out a message to you, and hope that somehow it can ring a bell or uh, kind of hit a button where you can really relate to it. So I'm really glad to hear that you're listening to it, Miss Ann.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, well, my experience being a single mother
Uh huh.
definitely wasn't always easy. I was a teen mother. I got pregnant at 16.
Okay.
And I must say, being young and pregnant, it can be very, very scary. I didn't really know, who I could turn to. I was very, afraid to let my family know. I didn't want to tell anyone. I was scared that, of the judgment that may have occurred. But, other than some girls who really who, when parents find out that they're pregnant, they're really, alone or have to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
I was really one of the fortunate ones. I was very, very blessed. Even though I was a single, I was doing it singly. I had a lot of help from my mother and from my grandmother who really supported me a lot through my pregnancy and still after my son was born. So I must say I was blessed in that sense. But I was never the type of girl, my son was really like my life lesson learned. I didn't really see myself having any more children. One, because I didn't really see how girls who have children could have multiple babies, and if they're not in a good situation, they remain in that same situation. And so, I was like, that's not where I wanted to be. I felt like I was allowed, to have one, raise one, but until I got myself together and my future right, then I could focus on having, more kids if I chose to.
Right.
But definitely, the financial stability plays a major role.
Yes, it does.
If you don't have, money saved up for yourself or to even put towards the family, there's really no need for you to have any children, because why does the child have to suffer? The child doesn't have to suffer for the parent, stupidities.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't feed the baby, don't make a baby. So I don't understand how I see a lot of young girls who are my age with multiple kids, multiple baby daddies, and you're still stuck, in the same situation, on assistance, on welfare, and not trying to improve. And that definitely wasn't the situation that I wanted to be in. I knew that I was a teen mother, but I also knew that I still have a chance to work on myself and, guide my son properly in the right way and work on him and, focus on each other, and so we'll both have a good chance in this life. Because stereotypes say, when you're in a broken home or single family parent home for the young black male, it's hard, being raised in this society, and I definitely don't want that stigma on my son. I think he's around a lot of positive,
Right.
people who try to motivate him to do the right thing and respect women, and how we all input how important education is. Education's very, very, very important. So, I just value all the help that I've had along the way, and how it was a life lesson learned for me, and how I know, until I am 100% complete with myself, don't bring children into a situation where you can't even help yourself. You definitely can't help anybody else, especially a little mouth to feed. So,
Miss Ann, may I ask how old are you now?
Now I'm 25.
Wow, 25 years old. And
Yeah.
and what are some of the things that you have turned around in your life to better yourself, to make sure that we all make mistakes in life, but we all try to learn from our mistakes, And when you learn from your mistake, you get wiser, you get better. You try to achieve certain goals in life, different goals in life. You don't think the same anymore when you was like 15 or 16 as you get older. You try to.
No, you really don't. Since, my son, I've taken myself back to school. I've completed courses. I've maintained certificates, just to try to improve my future. So definitely try to improve myself, so I know that I can make a better future for him.
Right. Right.
Another thing, you really have to be careful who you breed with. Be careful. Don't just be laying up with anybody and everybody and think it's okay to have 4, 5 different baby daddies, because it's
Right.
not okay.
Right.
Be careful. Pick and choose who you want to build a family with. Make sure your counterpart is stable. Make sure, that you guys both are secure, have a secure job, money in the bank, all the proper expenses to even raise a child.
Right.
Don't go out picking any and everybody who you think is cute, or even if you don't think he's cute and you just slip up and have a baby. Like, I don't know. You just gotta be careful.
Really, it can really change your whole life around, because they're innocents, and when you bring a child into this world, it's a huge responsibility, I mean, you have to give up so much. You have to give up so much of your childhood life, and when you have raising babies, what can a baby teach a baby, Young kids can't teach a baby how to be, how to grow up, because they're still growing themselves. They have not caught up. Their mind has not caught up with their body. And sometimes, like, it takes a woman, at least to be in her 30s for her mind get all to get stabilized and to get to see what she wants in life.
Definitely, I do feel like I am growing with my son. I am growing, maturing myself, and also watching him mature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to make life decisions for myself and make sure that I make the proper life decisions for him as well.
Right.
It's not an easy task. It's very, very not. When ideally, not thinking about it back then, but thinking about it now, I probably would have waited until I had, a secure spot in my career, finish my schooling and make sure, I had my home and everything before I decided to start having children. And that probably would have been like, in my late 30s. That's when women are established and finding themselves and not worried,
Right.
about, partying or anything. Because, it's like you're all out your system by then. You're ready to settle down.
Right.
You're ready to do all the things that you're supposed to do, at 30.
Mm-hmm.
But me knowing that now, I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything. I think I have the most most handsomest son ever. He's a beautiful blessing in my life, and I don't know where I would have been without him. Without him, he's helped me. He helped me mature.
Wow.
A lot.
So the lesson that you've learned, the lesson that you can share with with other young women today that is going through the same thing that you're been through and that you're still going through, what would you have to tell the young women out here today about as far as being, sexually, involved and not really knowing the consequences, that it can bring upon them? My philosophy is safe sex is no sex until you understand sex, and when you're at a very young age, I'm quite sure young people, they don't understand sex the way they should understand it,
Definitely no. Because you ain't gonna tell nobody who's already having sex not to have no sex. So definitely wrap it up. Use protection. Whatever you do, wrap it up. If you're not ready to have any kids, use all kind of birth control methods. Make sure the person that you're with is the person that you're going to be able to spend the rest of your life with, or the rest of these 18 years that you guys are going to be having to raise this child together. Because there's a lot of people out there who, are really just, fakery as parents, bad parents, and it's
right.
not always the men nowadays,
That's right.
It's the women too. So definitely make sure you have money.
Make good choices in life.
Sure that. Make sure you're saving for your child's education. If you're not ready to have kids, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
And
wrap it up.
try to stay in
all
school.
The contraceptives.
Get a good education. And so make sure you pick your mates very carefully. You don't want to be winding up with the wrong person. And sometimes when you're young, you don't really know who your mate is, because love is blind. When you're young, you say you're in love, but honey, it's a whole lot of puppy love. Even older women, we have a hard time sometimes trying to figure out where we're going, or who we're in love with. But it's so much younger and so much harder for a younger person. I can only imagine.
Love yourself first, because if you know what you're able to put up with and what you're not able to put up with. You have to really value yourself first and know what you really want out of life. And like I said, know what you will put up with and know what you won't, because people will try to get over you.
Right.
People try to get over you, take advantage of you in any and every situation. And men all see, if they see a pretty face or just a girl in general, it really don't matter as long as you have a little thing in between your legs. Guys don't care. Men don't care. As long.
It's a lot of competition, isn't it? Isn't it, Miss Ann? A lot of competition out here, isn't it, Miss Ann?
Man, like I said, men don't care. Men can have a woman like Holly Berry at home, and then
that's right.
Go mess with
that's right. It's still not enough. That's right.
A $2 worthless piece of trash, but I see it a lot. So.
Well, it's hard. They don't make them like they used to. Back in the day, back in my time, we did have a selection of good men going on, and I'm quite sure that there's still good men in the world today. I would hate to say that we don't have any good men left, because you know what? I think the ones that are out there, they're afraid of meeting women, that can hurt their feelings, that can tear their hearts out, and they're just as afraid as we are. I'm quite sure we have good men are looking for a good woman.
We do. We definitely do. I have witnessed a few during my time. I had this perception of men that they were all dogs. I think that's because I surrounded myself with that type of people. I didn't think highly of myself at a certain time. So there was a certain type of guy that I would go for. I would go for the bad boy type, and they all were like douchebags.
Right.
And then once I started changing my perception and, really looking for guys who are really about business and, about their life goals,
Mm-hmm.
I started surrounding myself around that, and I started attracting, those type of men
Exactly.
who are career-minded,
Exactly.
career-oriented, who love, want families, want to get married, and, value things like that.
Right, right. Absolutely, absolutely.
They are out there.
They're out there, and they're just afraid. They're just more afraid of us than we are of them. I mean, just because they look macho and tall and masculine. I mean, they have feelings too, just like we do. And they don't want to be wearing their heart on their sleeves and meet the wrong woman. That's to take advantage of them. So, I mean, they have to be careful just like we do, and we all afraid. We all have to, just pray that we can meet the right person that come into our lives, and somebody who's not full of games, somebody who's honest, somebody who wants, to make something of themselves, someone who wants to settle down and be with the person.
Right.
So that's very important. Well, Miss Ann, it's almost time to get off the air, and I have really enjoyed you coming on the Jordan Show, and it's been so nice talking to you. So, Miss Ann, I'm going.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miss Jordan. It's such a pleasure.
And thank you so much, Miss Ann. I'm going to say.
Okay. I'll be tuning in.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. Bye bye.